The Community Shield is the traditional curtain raiser of the English football season, as both the Premier League champions and the FA Cup winners go head to head against each other for the first game of the top flight English season. In a sense, it's not a Premier League match, but it's more often than not between two Premier League clubs. And of course, this time around, it was a Manchester derby, Manchester United against Man City. So, who won? Let's talk about it. 5 things that we learned. So, Pep Guardiola did allude to this in his pre-match press conference. He did say that it was going to be a mix of youth players and also players that are more experienced. And fair play to him, he definitely kept his word on that. The likes of James McAtee, Oscar Bob, Rico Lewis and O'Reilly all started in this match, which is just showing how confident he is when it comes to these young players. I mean, some of them fantastic players. James McAtee, of course, someone I rate very highly from his time at Sheffield United. And obviously on top of that as well, you've got Rico Lewis, who has made some appearances for the England senior side before. So even though these are young players, these are not bad players by any means. I mean, remember Cole Palmer, I'm pretty sure he played a big role in some of the Community Shields and the Super Cups and stuff like that last season that Man City were playing in. So it just shows you what these players are, the level of talent that Man City have on the bench, have in the reserves, that they can start these players. And they didn't look out of place at all, really. I mean, the first thing I want to talk about is that, you know, Man City did have some chances, thanks to Man United really, giving them opportunities at the back, really. McAtee pounced on a ball pretty early on in the first half. The real action of the first half, really, for either side. Hit the post, did McAtee with his effort, almost putting Man City 1-0 ahead. But yeah, Man United too, as well. They very much had a makeshift side of their own in a sense, but necessitated by injuries more than anything. You had Fernandes up top, playing as a bit of a false 9. Martinez played at left back, which is not his best position. He can play there, of course, but it's not his best position. And as well, Casemiro actually started this game too, despite all the rumours of him going to Saudi Arabia this summer, which still might be happening. But it shows that, they didn't really have a first choice side either. But it was good to see Mason Mount back as well in this game. He's had so much time, basically the entire of last season, injured. So it's good to actually see him getting some action in this one. And fair play to Fernandes up front, because it's not his best position. He's attacking midfielder, as we know. That's his ideal place on the pitch. But he did score early on in the second half, but it was disallowed for offside, just offside, I will add. But yeah, good decision by the referees for that one. But yeah, Man United's third thing, Man United did make chances in this one as well. Rashford hit the post as well, kind of mirroring what McAtee did in the first half, hit the same post as he did. Obviously, swap ends at half time. But it was Alejandro Garnacho, one very much for the future. Only 19, 20 years of age. He's still very young, of course. But yeah, he ended up getting the goal for Man United, putting them 1-0 up. And it seemed as though United might have beat City again at Wembley. Obviously, they beat them in the FA Cup final last season. But Pep brought the big guns on. And yeah, those mistakes that I mentioned earlier on, they did cost Man United in a sense. This was not, I wouldn't really say this was a mistake. This was just more fantastic move by Man City. Bernardo Silva pops up with some fantastic goals. Of course, some very important goals for City. He came off the bench and nodded in. He had a towering header at the back post, like he's Erling Haaland or something. But yeah, he actually popped up with a goal there. A towering header from someone who's like 5'8", 5'7". He's not very tall. But yeah, fair play to him. They all count at the end of the day. A very important goal. Full time, it was 1-1. It went to penalties as well on top of that. And eventually, Man City did come out on top. You had Ederson, the goalkeeper, who started this one. I did not expect Ederson to start this game, but he did. And he set up with a penalty and scored no problem. And of all the players to actually gift Man City the Community Shield, it was Akanji, who of course missed a penalty at Euro 2024 in that shootout against England when he was playing for Switzerland. But yeah, Akanji getting the penalty to win Man City the Community Shield, something they don't normally do. I will give a mention as well to Onana, who did not do himself too much justice in the penalty shootout. If you look at his antics when Haaland's stepping up, he's like, yeah, just go on. He stood outside of the centre line of the goal and was like, yeah, go on, shoot there, do it. And yeah, Haaland just coolly dispatched it into the corner. Whatever kind of mind games and antics he was trying with Haaland, it did not work. The robot scored, of course, from the spot with that one. But for Man City, of course, it is great they've won the Community Shield. It's not something they made a habit of recently. The only trophy they've not really won regularly recently. It's been a while since they've done it. But yeah, the Community Shield has only been won by the eventual Premier League champions in one of the last 13 seasons. I think that one probably was Man City, just going off half the odds. But yeah, just an interesting stat there that the Community Shield is not an indicator of the season to come. And I think that's fair given the fact that, you know, you've got two sides that, you know, Man City rotated their side a lot and Man United had a lot of their players out with injury. So I don't feel like this is a very representative take on what's likely to happen this season. Although Man City, of course, will be there in a title fight. Man United, I just don't see them in the title fight this season, guys, I'll be honest. I think it's too much of something to ask. But at the same time, I also feel like they are probably going to get top four. They've got a chance of top four this season, and that has to be their aim, to get back in the top four, have a more settled season, win the FA Cup, win the League Cup, win the Europa League, win something like that as well. A trophy in top four for me, I think, will be a very successful season for United. City, of course, they're looking to win everything, and they've got off to the perfect start by winning the Community Shield. So we'll see what happens with that one, guys. But yeah, just an interesting stat there. One of the last 13 Community Shield winners have also won the Premier League in that season. Maybe that's a good omen for the other teams, but we'll see. But yeah, guys, Community Shield, what do you think about it? Let us know in the comments below. And of course, we'll be back to preview this upcoming opening Premier League weekend as well on the footballchronicle.com. And of course, we're reviewing and reacting to any transfer news, any Premier League news, all of it here on our Microsoft, on our YouTube as well. So yeah, we'll see you very soon, guys, for some more football content here on the footballchronicle.com.